Hi there, and welcome to your 2022 Surveyor 240 Bhle. We're just going to start off in the back corner trailer here, right in the back bumper. Take this cap off. You're going to find your sewer hose. Once fully extended, it is about 20 feet long. Just take a note of those two ears there. Those are going to be the two ears that hook up to your sewer outlet. Right next to that, and as well as on all four corners of this unit, you do have your stabilizer jack. What that's going to do is you're going to put your little tool that I'm going to show you that's in the front compartment. Put your tool on here, lower these to the ground, give it another quarter turn just to snug it up. And it's just going to take any bounce or sway you see that's in the unit right now. Right up from there, you do have your power cord. Just take note of that little slot there. It just lines up with the prong on this metal in the corner. You just stick that in, give it an eighth turn. You got the threaded collar to really lock it down. If you follow that back, you do come to your standard 30 amp end. Most campsites should have this, so you can just plug right on in. But if not, we do include a 15 amp park adapter. That being said, you can also use that park adapter at home if you want to plug in your fridge. But just keep in mind, you are going down to 15 amps of power, so you can't run something like your air conditioner. Right to the left here, you do have your sewer outlet. You just take that cap, give it a turn, it comes off. Take note of those two ears there. Those are the two ears I showed you, the same two ears that are on your sewer hose. You just line them up with the notches, give it that turn, locks into place. You got your gray valve and your black valve. Your black valve is going to be your dirtiest water, which is filled from your toilet. So you're always going to want to empty that one first and then do your gray valve. That's just trying to keep some of the stench and debris out of the pipe. Right up from there, we do have a black tank flush. The way that's going to work is while your sewer is connected and your black tank's open, you stick a garden hose, plug it in on into here, turn it on, and it's just going to flush out that tank, cleaning any debris off the probes. If your monitor panel is showing full and you know for a fact it's empty, and it just helps maybe try and keep stench down a little bit. Right next to that is your city water connection. If you're at a site with service, plug your garden hose up into here, pressurizes the lines, and then you don't have to run your water pump. Cable satellite inlet. A little further down the unit, you do have your freshwater drain. You just give that guy a turn. If the tank had water in it, it would start emptying. Right up from here is your freshwater tank fill. Put a hose in there, turn it on. It fills your freshwater tank, which your water pump does draw off of. Then right next to that, you do have your hot water heater. Before you ever go to fire up your hot water heater, you're just always going to want to give this little pressure relief valve a pull. There should be a shot of water that comes out of there, but this unit is winterized, so there's going to be no water that comes out of there right now. That's just telling you that there's no water in it right now, so you wouldn't want to fire it up. There also is an 1/16" drain plug here. You take that out, and that is how you drain your hot water tank. Inside here, you do have just some storage. Here's that 15 amp park adapter I was telling you about, as well as your 25-foot water hose. And this panel right here, if you remove the four corners, 4 screws in each corner, this panel will pop off, and that is where you get access to the back of your hot water tank to turn those bypass valves if you were to winterize it. And this little black box here, that's where your battery's kept. This switch here is called your battery disconnect. So if you're leaving the unit for a while or you're storing it for winter, with the battery disconnect on, the batteries are disconnected. And with the battery switch off, when the battery disconnect is on, the batteries are connected. When the battery disconnect off, the batteries are disconnected. Underneath here is your propane tanks. Typically, you can just loosen off these 2 tabs here, flip them back, open this up, and you get access to your propane tanks. For this video, I'm just going to take this right off. Underneath here, you just got your 2 barbecue-style propane tanks. Pretty simple to get those on. You just turn them on all the way. Right here, you do have your little selector valve. So right now, it is showing green, so that's just telling you that you do have propane running through. If this tank were to run empty or low, you can just take that and turn that arrow to this tank, and then you'll be drawing off this tank. Power tongue jack up front. If you take this little cap off the top, for any reason, if your power tongue jack wasn't working, either your battery's dead, there's that little nut in there. There is a tool in the compartment that you can manually override it and still go up and down. You got your up and your down, and you also have a little light for when you're hooking up at night. Inside this storage compartment here is where you keep your little propane griddle as well. This is the tool I was telling you about for the stabilizer jack. And this is the tool for the power tongue jack up front. Inside this compartment, you also do have a little motion sensing light. So with the light on one way, it's on full time, and with it on the other way, it only turns on when it senses motion. This little port here, if you stick this in there, this will manually override your slide out in case that stops working. Right up here, you do have your range hood exhaust. You're always just going to want to make sure whenever you get your campsite that this is open, allowing fumes to exit the unit. Whenever you go to travel, you can close it, and that's just going to keep any dust out of the unit while you're traveling, or try to keep dust to a minimal. They just snap into place. Right down from there is your furnace exhaust. So whenever you're running that furnace, you just want to be mindful that you don't have this block because it puts out hot air. 2 110 plugs, as well as a little cable satellite outlet. If you pull this open, flip this back, you have your little exterior kitchen. The way that works is you just give this a pull. It's on a little gas strut, makes its way out. On one side, you have a nice little table, and on this side, this is where your little kitchen sink goes. You do have this little garden hose end here. It just plugs right on into this guy here. Just taking note of those 2 ears. They just line up with the 2 slots inside there. And then your griddle. Just goes on top of this stove like so. But you do have that 1 foot here that you do need to take off. You do need to take this 1 little foot off. It unscrews. It goes in the slot, and then this foot just goes in from the bottom, which just secures this griddle on top here, just making sure that it's not going to fall off or go anywhere. Here's the propane hose that you use to connect it. It's just pull back the collar there. The line comes disconnected. You hook this end up to the propane fitting on the back. Turn in that valve on. Just keeping in mind, whenever this valve is on, you can't take that collar off, just as an added safety. Just run that propane line down. There's a little connection at the bottom of the trailer here. Same way as it went up top. Pull that collar back, making sure that the flow of propane is off. It just connects nicely like so. Doesn't want to connect. There we go. Turning that flow of propane on, and then you'd be able to go up top and hit it with the sparker. To get it off, you just close that flow of propane. That line pops off. And you just come back to the top and you just undo it from the stove. Whenever I'm done with this, I just like rolling it up and connecting it back into itself. That way no gravel or dust get into the line. Leave that there. At the back of the unit, You do have your spare tire, and you are pre-wired for an observation camera. And you do have a ladder back here so that you can go up and check your seals on your roof. Just right back here is just another entry or exit door. If this mattress just folds up, and you can either get bikes in there or use it as an entry and an exit door. To get inside the unit, pretty simple. Just lift that assist handle, fold it 90 degrees, it locks into place. You open that door, you get this little blue tab for the stairs. They come unlatched. Now, whenever you're bringing your stairs down, just to always, you do have these little adjusters to change the height of the feet, depending on your campsite needs. If you take a step on inside, first things first, you do have your fire extinguisher right on your right. Right up from there, you do have your little, all your light switches. So you got your interior lights on the far right. Right beside that, you do have a porch light, and then you have your awning LED. Right next to that is your slide out button. So you hit that button, hold it out. Slide out's going to start making its way out. You're going to know that slide out's fully extended when you hear the whines and the clicks of the motor. So there you go, you heard those clicks. That's just letting you know the slide out's fully extended. Then right next to that, you do have your awning. You hit that awning extend button. The awning's going to start making its way out. You're going to know that awning's fully extended when you see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Sometimes the flap can get stuck, so you just got to go back and then back in and then out again to try and get it off. There you go. You got the little flap hanging down. There's the back of the metal tube. Now, if it ever starts raining, you can grab any arm, front or rear, pull it down, and it is going to change the pitch of the awning head, allowing water to then run off. Now, if you like that angle better, you can do the same thing to the back, and it does allow for more shade underneath here. Just always making sure that you push that arm back straight before you bring it in. That way you don't run the risk of bending anything. Whenever you're bringing it in, you just want to make sure that it's rolling the right way up, right way in. That way you're not trapping any water, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. Whenever you get to about 10 to 15 km/h winds, you are just going to want to make sure you bring this awning in. That way you don't run the risk of ripping it right off or bending your arms. Now, right up next to that slide out button, you do have your Furrion radio. That's pretty simple. Just like home, you got a power button, pause, stop, skip. And then at the top, you'll see zone 1 and zone 2. So zone 1 is going to be your interior speakers, and zone 2 is going to be your exterior speakers. And as well as you do have Bluetooth, USB, and a aux cord plug-in. Now, right up from that, you do have what's called a solar controller. Now, this doesn't really do a whole lot. This is just pretty much a monitor system. And as well as you can change from amps to volts and amp hours. And you can also change to your different battery types if you're to have AGM, lithium. To get the main bed, so you do have a couch option like this. To get the main bed out, you're just going to want to pick up the foot of the couch. It's going to fold down. You got your little travel latch here for the bed. You pull that, and the bed and mattress just folds out like so. You have a window there, as well as 2 cup holders on each side. And you do have storage on each side. And as well, this one side does have 2 110 plugins, as well as 2 USB plugins. To get that back in, you just push that up, locks into place. Grab your foot of your bed, or the foot of your couch, pull it up, kind of grab the back of the couch to assist it back into place. On this side here, this is where you're going to find your LP detector. Propane's heavier than air. Propane's going to sit on the floor. That guy will detect it. If that guy starts going off, you are just going to want to go to the front of your unit, turn your supply of propane off, open up all the windows in here, turn the fans on, get all those fumes out. In this area here is your dinette. Now this can also be turned into a bed. To get that done, you just got to pull the feet of the table out. The tabletop's going to sit on these nice ledges here. You take your back cushions, fill in the center, you have another bed. All the blinds in this unit do all work the same. It's just kind of a sit where you leave them type of deal. Pull it down, you can leave it there, halfway up. In this binder here is where you're going to find your keys, remotes, and owner's manuals for this unit are all tucked away inside this binder. You have a kitchen sink with hot and cold water. You got your TV on the wall. This switch here is just to turn on the Wi-Fi if you were to go with that option. This unit is pre-wired for Wi-Fi. This button right here just turns your satellite on your roof on. Whenever you have this on, you will notice better radio frequency as well. You got your microwave, not much I'm going to show you there. That's just like home. You got your range hood. Now, whenever you're running your stove, you are going to be wanting to run that range hood, as this does run off propane and give off those fumes. The way this works, you just flip that glass cover back, turn the dial to high, hit it with the sparker, lights right up. Oven, same thing. You just got to make sure you have that light on. You're going to take this knob, this far right knob, you're going to turn it over to that little flame. You're going to hold that button in. You're going to hit that sparker. The pilot light comes on. Hold it for another second. Holds itself now. Turn it up to your desired temperature. And if at any point you're done with the oven, you can turn it back to just pilot or turn it right off completely if you're traveling again. Now keep in mind, it fired right up this time here, but if you do leave the unit for a while and you have the propane off, it can take up to 5 minutes, I'd say, to purge all the air out of the propane lines to get that stove running and the oven running. Right next to there, you do have your fridge. Works pretty simply. You got a power button on the far left. Just hold it for a few seconds. It comes on. You got your temperature, 5 being the coldest as you can go. And then you can go down from there. So whenever this button's illuminated, you are operating the freezer. And whenever this button's illuminated, you're operating the fridge. And then at any point, you can just hold that and it'll turn itself off again. You do have your bunk bed top and bottom. You have this nice ladder here which just hooks into these nice metal hangers there. Each bunk bed does have a USB plug-in on the wall and a little light. On this wall here, you just do have storage as well as your thermostat. So you're going to hit that button once. It's just going to illuminate itself. Hit it again. You're going to go into fan low. So at this point, you're just running the fan to move some air around on the low fan. Hit that button again and you go into fan high. So again, that's just going to be moving air around, but with the high fan. Now you get into cool high. So now is when the cooling part takes in place. Your air conditioner will come on and it's running air conditioner full time on high fan. The same thing, but on low fan. Now you get to cool low auto. At this point, it becomes an on-demand system, so it's going to kick in and out as needed. As you see right there, it just turned off. Cool high auto, same thing with high fan, and now you get into heat. So the way that heat works is turn it onto the heat mode. You're going to hear that furnace kick in. It's going to be moving its air through all these black floor portals you see around the unit. Now, whenever you go to turn that heater off, you hit that button, it goes to off. The heater is going to run for about 3 minutes after as an added safety precaution to cool down. So don't panic there when it doesn't turn off right away. You open this door, you get into your bathroom, your light switch is on your left, You do have a nice little ceiling fan in here, so you open that up, hit that back switch in the back corner, it turns the fan on. You got a shower with hot and cold water, sink, hot and cold water, nice little medicine cabinet, which does come with a little travel latch to keep it closed. You got a nice toothbrush hanger. And then right here, you do have your main GFI plug-in. So you got test on the bottom, reset up top. Whenever this green light is on, that means there's power to the plugs. Whenever you have a plug that doesn't work, this will be the first thing you check. Just hit that reset button, making sure that it is not tripped. And then right here, you do have your monitor panel system. So we got your battery. So it's currently C for charging. G would be good. F is fair. L is low. And then you get your fresh, your black, and your gray. That works pretty simply. You got empty, a third, 2/3, and full. On your right here, you do have your water pump switch. So you hit that switch on. It's going to turn your water pump on, which draws from your freshwater tank. And then you have firing it up with your water heater with electric and firing up your water heater with gas. Whenever you're firing up your water heater with gas, you turn this on. It's going to try lighting itself 3 times. If on the 3rd try it doesn't light, this fault light's going to come on and stay on. At that point, you just got to turn this off, wait a few seconds, turn it back on to try and restart it. And then down below, this unit is equipped with tank heaters, so you can get into that extended camping season. You do have your fresh, your gray, and your black, and those work pretty simply. You just turn the switch, they turn on. It's just a little pad on the bottom of the tank that provides heat. Your toilet, flushers on the right. And then right underneath your fridge, you do have your breaker panel. Whenever a breaker pops, it's going to sit in the middle, so you just got to go off and then back on to reset it. Whenever you have a breaker pop, there will be a little red indicator light telling you which one is popped. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.